In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we give him praise and we give him thanks for his intervention in our affairs, coming to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. And we thank him for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, his exalted and living Christ, and we're forever indebted to Allah for thou servant, warner, and guide among us in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is in their names we greet you. In the greeting words of peace, we said in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum.
We would like to thank Brother Conrad and Sister Leslie for inviting us to Black Marriage Day 2015. May Allah continue to bless you in your marriage. We were asked to answer 3 questions. So the first question is,
what has been one of your biggest challenges in marriage thus far?
One of the biggest challenge, I would say, would be finances. In every marriage, there has to be something there that will maintain it along with the spiritual development. But if I had to put my hands on one particular thing, it would have to be the finances. Because Scripture guides us in Ecclesiastes and says that money is a defense as well as wisdom. And the challenge has been, as the maintainer of the house and the head of the house, what better ways to defend or protect my family along with a righteous life and following the restrictive laws of Islam. We need financing, money to help us to manifest those things, wants and securities. So that would have been one of my greatest challenges, to make sure we're secure financially.
Okay.
That's real talk.
Yeah. My biggest challenge in our marriage is proper communication. It's very important that you communicate, know how to communicate properly. And I went through some challenges with that. Allah has blessed me. You know, marriage is a process. And you have to listen to your mate. You have to really listen to what is being said and not think about how you're going to respond. You have to also be honest. You have to be honest. And with me, there were some weaknesses within myself that I didn't want my husband to know about, because I felt that he would not continue to love me or want to be my friend or, you know, be my helpmate. So that was a fear of mine. As we travel in our lives, I want to thank the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for introducing to us Dianetics in the auditing process. What I found was there were triggers when we would have a difficult conversation, which made me angry. The aggression was what kept me from listening to him. The auditing brought out, that helped me to understand that there were triggers that would bring on additional discomfort and anger. And it is very important that you go through the Dianetics process, the auditing, that would help you with things that have happened to you in the past. And you know, I didn't know that there were triggers until I went through the process. So I recommend that you go through auditing.
Yes, both, husband and wife, not auditing one another, but both of us needed to be audited.
Right.
And it helps strengthens our marriage as well. Yes.
And learning how to communicate, to listen, and to be honest.
What has been one of your greatest rewards thus far?
One of my greatest rewards is many, but we was asked to select one, and that is being able to understand Scripture through the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He has guided us through Scripture in the Bible, which was difficult for me. I didn't understand a lot of it. And when that opened up the Scripture to us, it was an experience. It was a good experience to know that I could understand what is being said in the Bible. The Holy Quran is beautiful. You know, the minister guided us through the Holy Quran as well, but the Bible was more difficult for me. But when I got to a scripture that the minister helped me with, and I would feel so good in understanding what it's saying, and then be able to move through a little bit more of the Bible, because he has helped us with that coding, that the Bible has been coded. So that was a beautiful experience regularly for me.
What was the question again?
What has been one of your greatest rewards thus far?
Rewards thus far. Wow. And like you said, there's many.
Yeah,
There's
it
many.
is.
But if I had to narrow it down, the greatest reward thus far in our marriage would be walking with the wise man in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's been very rewarding in the sense of it's been strengthening me as a man, growing into my role as Khalifa. Very rewarding to be able to raise two beautiful daughters, and having the guidance, the spiritual guidance and wisdom to help in that development. Without that, and the key word for me is reward, so that lets me know that there's a benefit. And the benefit for me is to see my lovely daughters grow into beautiful, blossoming young ladies, MGT, married to my lovely wife for 34 years, and to try to be that example of the man that's in our midst, in my household and in my family. So I'm the beneficiary of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
And I want to go back to what I was saying in terms of Scripture. When we read Scripture, that is our way of life.
Yes,
it is. It's that foundation that we need to be successful in our marriages, be successful with raising our children, being successful in the mosque, with the believers. Because if we use Scripture in all that we do and say, we would have a better relationship.
that is true.
The affinity would be there for not just our homes, but in the mosque and in the community.
Yes, that is true.
What advice do you have for someone looking to get married in the near or far future?
What advice? I would share with them, Islam, the nation of Islam, is a world. And that world that Master Fard Muhammad has come to give us has a cornerstone of family. And that family has to be developed through the courtship. And anyone who is thinking about marriage, thinking about it now or in the future, must get familiar with the courtship process and to realize that, like my wife said, marriage is a process. And to know that it's a world. We've been blessed to be given a whole new world to be a part of. And to strengthen our world, the cornerstone of that world is family. And when we have strong families, so teaches the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we have a strong nation. We want a strong nation. So we must begin on starting off right with the intent of wanting to have a strong nation and bringing a new world. Our world cannot look like the world that we're coming out of. This world is fallen and it really has nothing to offer us. So we must look at the tools and the guidance that Allah has given us. And courtship is one of the great tools that we must use.
I agree 100%, sweetheart. I really do. When you look at courtship, that was instituted by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So that's scripture to me. That's gospel. You're not forced to use the courtship process before marrying, but it's a spiritual development of the mind with both. And you're able to ask the real difficult questions. You know, you want to find out if you're compatible with your mate before going into marriage. You want to be compatible in terms of, you know, family background, intellect, and spirituality. But the hard questions like, have you ever been tested for HIV? That's a difficult question to ask, but you have to ask that kind of question. What type of relationship do you have with your mother, your sisters, your aunts, your siblings? And when was the last time you spoke to your mom? You know, what are your goals? What are your aspirations? How often do you attend the mosque? Do you have a job?
How often do you pray?
Yeah, how often do you pray? Yeah. Have you been married before? If so, do you have children? Do you support your children?
Very key. Yes.
Just those hard questions that is beautiful. And you put yourself in an environment, of course, with a chaperone or escort, and you should enjoy the courtship process. You know, because you don't have sex, you don't touch. You just want to know, what is it possible that you are compatible with this person?
What you're presenting.
What are you presenting? Yes. So ask the hard questions. And may Allah bless you in the courtship process, because like I said, it is a spiritual connection that you're trying to make with this possible mate.
Yes. And the joining and meetings of the two minds and spirit, which gives you the same purpose and aim. And if you have a divided house from the beginning, it will not stand. But that purpose and aim, and then joining the two hearts together, then you're going in with the right spirit.
Right, and it's also a protection.
Yes, it is.
For the male and the female.
Yes.
So if it does not work out, you can walk away with your dignity.
Very key point.
You can walk away with your dignity.
Yes.
So I suggest and advise that everyone, not just the Nation of Islam, the believers in the nation, but this is to be taught to the world.
That's right.
The courtship process should be taught to the world.
Yes, because there's a new world coming in. Yes.
All right, well, we want to thank Sister Leslie and Brother Conrad for inviting us once again.
Yes, we do.
And may Allah bless you with your marriage, and thank you so much for your annual Black Marriage Day. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.